Hello everybody!
Hi. Today we are looking at... Oh, can you help me with this one?
Oh yeah, it's a bit...
It's hard work. The entirety of Rome is in here.
Pretty much.
All the marble, it's all in here. Today we're looking at Foundations of Rome.
Whole Calax Cube.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is a 1 to 4 player game by Arcane Wonders, and it is a city building, card drafting, but also city building game, and you're building Rome. You know,
it's almost like a sort of polyomino game, a bit like My City or Baron Park or something like that.
My City, yeah, I can see.
Yeah, so
where to start with this one?
Exactly. This is a Kickstarter that I kickstarted like a year and a half ago or something like that. So it just suddenly turned up. As Bear says, it's a 1 to 4 player game in this kind of standard base condition. But there was like a 1 to 5 version, and then I think probably even a 6 player version, whatever. There's an expansion where you're building bigger things, but we went for the base game. I don't know yet. I don't know if this is going to come to retail. I guess it probably is. Arcane Wonders tend to do stuff, fairly sort of well to the public rather than just on Kickstarter. But if you get a chance to buy this, we'll explain to you what it looks like and how it plays.
And if you should,
yeah,
if you should pay for it and buy it.
Okay, so I'm finding it hard to talk over it. Should we put it back in the put it back in the show because I feel like it's kind of like between me and the crowd there. Okay, so. There it is, one Calax Cube full, basically.
Ridiculous.
So, okay, the game is beautifully well produced. Obviously, it's because it's a Kickstarter. That's what they tend to do. They kind of pull you in with the sort of minis as they tend to. But it's mini buildings in this case. So each player gets their own kind of board of buildings. I can't remember how many it is. Actually, like 25 buildings, something like that. No, it's a tray. You're right. It's like a plastic tray, which they all fit in a certain way, in a certain direction.
That's cute. They've got little spaces.
Yeah, a little lid that keeps it. It's very, very neatly done, very well sort of put together, so it's easy to kind of get out and put away and stuff. So there's not a big kind of set up and tear it down overhead on this game. It's a really nice game. Quite a big board, so we have to play it with the lid on our little table. So the board's quite big.
It's a double trays as well. It's even bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then there's another. Yeah, so we'll explain all that. Yeah, we had to get a little side table down and all sorts. So you get your little tray full of buildings each. So if there are 4 of you, you've got 4 trays. Okay, so a big table hog. Different coloured trays, and they've got different coloured little tokens on the top to identify whose they are on the board. Then there's a big board which is double-sided. One side plays 1 to 3. I think you can play as 1. I think 1 to 3 players. The other side plays 4 to 5 players. And it's just the size of the grid, basically, sort of 16 by 6.
10 by 10.
Yeah, 10 by 10 or 11 by 11, whatever the size is. So the smaller grid obviously is for a 2-player game, so you don't kind of expand into the other bits. And there are pretty much 3 rules to the game.
Well, it's not rules; it's
three actions. So three actions. Yeah, but the rules are kind of just to control.
There are no rules.
The 3 actions are contained within the rules of how you lay the things and do that. But literally, there's 3 things you can do. On your go, basically, you can. Well, jump back a little bit. Aside from the main board and your little tray, there's another board or 2 other boards actually. One other board which is
stay with us.
Like a marketplace for the deeds of each square on the grid.
You need deeds before you can build.
Yeah, so it's like A1 through to H10 or something. Yeah. Something like that, in the 2-player game, you obviously take out all the cards for the deeds for the bigger grid, and you just have the smaller grid cards. You shuffle those up, and you split them into 3 equal piles of 3 different eras on the marketplace. And each era counts as like 10 years in the game, and you're basically trying to build Rome and increase the glory of Rome and get points for the glory that you built up, all this stuff. You start with, I can't remember, is it 4 or 6? Might be 6. Yeah, I think it's 6. You start with 6 of these deed tiles in your hand, and then the others are split into 3 piles of the 3 eras. And when you come to the marketplace sort of game section of the game, you peel off from era 1 the the deeds for those sections 1 to 10. It's actually 6, but the first one is 1 coin, denarii, I think.
It costs 1.
And the second one is 2, and the third one is 5, and so on, up to 10 or whatever.
A lot of games do that where they...
Yeah, and
the further they are, the more expensive they are.
That's right, and when you buy one, it slides them down, all this stuff. So it's that kind of mechanic. So you have that over these 3 eras.
At the beginning as well. How many coins?
You do 6, I think. It's not much. Yeah, it's not many.
No,
it's not many at all. And so, with your 6 starting deeds, you, like, say for instance, A1 is one of mine. I grab a little. You've got 8 little kind of men, little characters. Little counters that you put onto that deed square on the board. So A1, is mine. Put my man on it. F6, put my man on it, and then that stays there. It's your kind of that is your, you own that deed and that space on the board. You don't do anything with these things, but it's nice to keep them there. You can, if you knock the board, you can kind of just go, oh, actually no, this one was mine. So you just leave those there as used, but they're yours on the board. Both players, or in our case, 2-player game, both players set their sort of start up men out like that, and then you've got your men out there, and then the deeds array. I'm saying it over here because we had it on a separate table.
Nothing's there.
The deed era 1 becomes available, and each player take it in turn. You just, I think.
Was the first one free, or was the first one 1 coin?
No, I think the first one's 1 coin, then the second one's 2, the third one's 3, and 5, 10, 5, 8, 10.
Town knows it's like 5, 8, 10.
10, yeah. And so on your go, you do one of 3 actions. You can buy a deed from the marketplace at whatever value you like. If you've got 10, you could buy the 10, for instance. If you buy the 1, you get the 1, and they all slide down, and another one comes off era 1 to fill that empty space, or the last space. And you, the deed that you've bought, you put your little man on that again if you've got enough men. You can only do that if you've got enough men left, because obviously you've got 8 men. If you own 8 deeds and 8 men out on the board, you can't buy a deed because you haven't got a man to put on it. So you put your man on it. That's one action. Buy a deed, put your man on it. Second action is you can build from your tray of buildings onto one of your owned deeds squares. So for instance, if you've got a 1 deed square on F6, you could place a single tile building, single square size building. Let's say a
pavilion.
Let's not say that. No,
Roman pavilion.
Let's say it. But yeah, they've all got different names and different reasons for laying them, which we'll get to. So you place that 1 out and take your man back, put him in your tray so he's available to stick out.
So you've built that building on that.
And that building is there on your plot. Again, the plot stays yours forever. It doesn't matter what happens. So then that's your building on the plot, on the board. So that's your second action, build a building. Third action is, actually sticking with that second action of build. Later on in the game, you can upgrade a building as well as build a building. So you could upgrade a single tile to a 2-tile building if you own the adjacent deed. So buy a deed, build a building, or upgrade a building. And the third option is take money from Rome.
From the bank.
And you basically get 5 coins, 5 denarii, plus any that you're due for specific buildings that you put out, which I'll tell you about in a second. That's your 3 actions. Dead simple. I'll do this one, you'll go. I'll do this one, you'll go. It's so quick. Just like that. Bang, 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 bang. There's a little bit of thinking, obviously, at various points further on in the game when the board gets a little bit tight.
What's best to do for you?
Yeah, you kind of think, well, do I want to build that? Do I want to upgrade that? And I want to take some money so I can afford that deed. I'm waiting for this.
That building will give me more money, but that building will give me more points.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of thinking further into the game as you go, especially when the board gets a bit tight for space. But dead simple. Go, 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 go. Easy. And the buildings, there are 3 types of buildings. There are residential, there are commercial, and there are civic. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. So the civic buildings score victory points, because again, there's another board which has got a victory point score on it, victory point tracker. And the bottom part of that scoreboard is a population tracker. So a victory point tracker and a population tracker. And what you're trying to do is increase both of those as best you can. Victory points mostly, obviously, because victory points, the one with the most victory points wins. So the civic buildings score you victory points on that victory point track, by being adjacent to certain types of buildings, and it says it on the little there's a little icon on the top of the building that says if this building is next to other civic buildings, 3 victory points.
Yeah, 1
per
point
building.
for every commercial building you're next to.
Yeah, or if you're next to a domus, as they call it, a residential building, you score a victory point for every 2 people that live in those buildings adjacent, things like that. So
it's good that each building has it on there. You haven't got to remember.
No, absolutely
which
not.
building
Yeah,
is what,
really useful. So the civic buildings give you victory points. The residential buildings give you population on the population track. So let's say, for instance, you put down a 6-person building, your population goes up by 6. Great.
But why do you need population?
Well, I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked. Population, actually, there are bonus points for having the most population. So, for instance, you get points for having population on the board. At the end of every era, you score certain points. So we'll jump back to that in a second. So you get victory points for having...
You're jumping on everything.
I'm sorry. You get victory points for having population.
You do.
But you also get a bonus for having the biggest population. So if I've got 12 people houses out there, population-wise, Bear's got 14 people houses out there, domuses, she would get the bonus. And the first round bonus is, I think it's...
4.
Okay. Yes, 4 the first round, 7 the second round, 10 the third round, something like that. It might be more than that. Can't remember. But those are big swings of victory points at the end. So you kind of want to be the most population on the board, really, if you can. But of course, that kicks you in the teeth for other things you're trying to do. So you have to really balance it up.
Tactics, yeah.
So that's what the people do. The residential buildings, they put your population up, and then the commercial buildings, they earn you coin, basically. If you put a commercial building out on the board, you are then due extra money when you take money. So you take money as a 5 coin grab.
One of the 3 actions, one of the 3 main actions.
Take 5 coins, but if you've got commercial buildings out, they give you extra coins. So for instance, some commercial buildings will give you an extra 1 coin, bigger commercial buildings will give you an extra 2 or 3 coins. So when you take money, sometimes you'll be taking 8, 10 coins in your take money.
Which is good, because then some of the deeds are up to 10 coins
Yeah.
to buy,
so you kind of have to weigh up whether you're going to go for civic building, scoring for victory points, whether you're going to try and get population out and get the points that way, or whether you're just going to try and get lots of money by getting commercial buildings out. And again,
you don't know which is best.
No, it's very thinky, very thinky. But again, a lot of the times you're not only thinking about the way that the buildings score you and the way that you get victory points via those buildings, but also the way that you place them next to your civic buildings that you've already placed out that are going to give you points for being adjacent to. So if you think, well, I could put a commercial building next to that one and it'll earn me a couple of coins, but if I put a population building there, a residential, it's right next to my civic building, which is going to score me 6 victory points for every civic, whatever. So you have to really weigh this stuff up. And you actually score, with these civic buildings, you actually score for any building adjacent, whether it's your building or the other player's building. So if my civic building says you score 2 victory points for every residential building next to you, it's not just yours, it's the other person's. So you could plonk one right in the middle of a big residential area and you score loads of points for it. It's really, really good. So sometimes some of those deeds haven't come up in the marketplace yet, and you're thinking, oh, please let me get a chance to buy C6, because if I buy that and plonk my little civic building there, I'm going to make a fortune of points.
I think it's the ultimate game in a minute to learn, lifetime to master.
Yeah, it really is.
As soon as we started playing it, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's easy to pick up.
So easy to pick up.
And that's saying something to me.
Yeah. So anyway, when you get to sort of the tail end of the first era, which is when all these kind of deeds are sold, era 1, as it gets to the end of the deeds, you keep going until the very last deed is sold, and then everybody gets one more go of that round, so one more action, and then you score era 1. And basically you just go through each player's...
it's got a good guide of how to score as well.
Yeah, it's really simple. Each player's kind of civic buildings, population and commercial buildings. You go through it, score what you're due, go up on your victory point tracker, see if there's any population bonuses, that kind of thing. And you don't, this is the genius thing about this game, the way it is sort of laid out, you don't even have to kind of count on the board necessarily, blah, 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 blah. It's all written in the spaces that you've taken your buildings out of. So as you take a building out and place it on the board, in the space that you've left, it tells you what it earns you in the sort of era scoring point. It's just so sublimely simple.
Very clever.
Yeah, really nicely done. So it's very easy to score, and you just kind of go through who's got this, who's got that, who's done that, who's scored this, victory points, done.
And you do era 2.
Next era, you just deal those out, you go through it again.
Same.
3 eras, you're done. One winner with victory points wins. It's such a sweet and elegant game. And because of these buildings, like the buildings, here's a screen grab right now for you. They are
they're really good.
Satisfying to build out. Yeah, really detailed and impressive.
They look good all together.
Yeah, when you're building it on the board, it really feels like you're building the city of Rome full scale.
And when you go to era 2 and era 3, you keep your buildings that you've already built.
Yeah, you don't take anything back. Everything stays out on the board.
Which is a bit like, it reminds me of like My City, where it's like legacy.
Yeah,
almost,
it's kind of each round is like a legacy. Yeah,
I would have thought when we started playing it that you clear the board and then start again.
Yeah, no.
But no.
No, you just continue building until
it makes it tricky and trickier
third
to fit
era.
buildings in. Like, I've got a 4 long building here, but I've only got a space for a 2.
Yeah, the upgrading buildings is a nice touch actually. So if you, again, like we say, if you if you put a 2 square building out and you suddenly manage to buy the 3rd tile next to the space next to it, then you can, on your go, when you're building, instead of just building a straight out from the board, from your box straight to the board, you take a 2 off and replace it with a 3. You have to kind of adjust the. So say for instance, say you take off a residential building, you might have to take your residence down a couple of pegs. But you might have thought, I'm gonna give up on residential right now because somebody else is already winning that.
I'm
gonna do something else. Yeah, so you kind of just take that out and put that in. You have to kind of just weigh up the balance of what you're trying to achieve, how you're trying to make your points best for you. It's very, very. I want to say thinky, not overthinky. But it is. You get, especially at the tail end of the game, you're thinking, "Oh, right now, if I do that, it's going to earn me 3 points."
Not frustrating you.
No, not at all. It's just kind of, you just need to figure it out. If I put that there, it's going to score me 3 points, but I'm going to lose 2 points there, so that's 1 point. If I put that there, it's going to earn me 3 points and lose me 1.
Some games you've made me play that are AP, and I sit there and I've actually said to you, like, I don't know what to do.
Castles of Burgundy.
Castles of Burgundy.
Well, yeah.
But I did not think that once with this.
No,
I was like more like, oh, what should I do?
Yeah.
Rather than like
yeah, this is so simple to play. So so there we are. That's pretty much how it plays. You take it in turns.
What do we think?
For a second.
Do you like it?
Well, shall I go first for a change? Again, we've not discussed as usual.
Your thoughts? Did you?
My thoughts. I love it. I love it. I mean, I quite like polyomino games anyway. They're kind of all right. I'm not mad keen for them, but they're okay. They're like that sort of puzzle sort of try. And it's a tile-laying game to a certain extent, but they're just 3D tiles. I really like it. I love Rome. We love Rome as a theme anyway, which is why this kind of appealed to me when I saw it on Kickstarter. It was just like, wow, we're building Rome. We love Rome, so why would we not like this game? Luckily, it's a really good game. Yeah, I really, really like it, and it's a massively impressive game to bring out. I mean, I took this to my board game club. It was like a workout trying to get it because it barely fits in a bag, and 2, you got to carry the bag up the street and all this stuff. But I kind of won the prize for taking the biggest board game box ever. I think it knocked Gloomhaven off the charts or something. But we played it twice that night, and then again the week after. I think everyone loved it. So yeah, really, 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 really like this game. I'm giving this. I mean, there's no reason. There's no real reason why this wouldn't be like a 10, really. But it's.
I didn't think. It's not.
I just take it down from that because
much as you like.
Well, I have to say,
in-depth things, don't you? Like
I do, but I have to say, it is a different game with 4 than it is with 2.
More tactics involved.
Well, the game just tightens up really quickly, and you can't go like with 2. You kind of I want to go there if you're not.
Still works well.
It works really well as 2, but it's
harder
not. It's just really not as tight as 2 with the space. You kind of. It's either you or me.
Neither of us struggled to put something down.
No, exactly. With 4, you're kind of like, it is restricted really quickly because people are putting stuff out really quick, so it kind of gets really tight really quick. In the 2-player game, it's quite well balanced actually. It doesn't get tight until like the last era. So if I counter in the sort of 4-player version of it and the fact that I love it, I'm going to go with a 9. I really like it.
It's not as in depth like a
it's not
battle
like
or a
No, it's not like sort of Crown of Amara, which is really kind of lots to going on. I know, I get that, but it is just very satisfying.
There's no dragons in it.
No, I know, it's just very satisfying. It's very nice, very impressive. It's easy to get to the table. Apart from the size, it is. It is though, isn't it? Because it's, you know, like I say, it's not a big setup and tear down. It's very easy to get out and start playing because you're not kind of having to get all the bits out. It's there.
Well, for me, you surprised it with me one day. I didn't know he'd ordered this.
No, it was a year and a half coming.
Yeah, so one day you said, let's play this, and I saw it and I thought, oh, jeez. Oh, God.
Yeah. There was a bit of throttling.
Why did I marry this man?
No, that's a whole nother video.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, oh God, this is going to be so in depth and it's going to be AP, it's going to be complicated. But it was so simple to play and I really liked it. It's my ultimate in don't be put off by the box in my mind because you think, Jesus, right. But no, it is simple. I enjoyed the fact we've got our own little board each. We are playing on the same board, but we've got our own little
tray of stuff. Yeah.
I like the fact that you can openly choose which deed you want. That's what thing, not a sandbox, not really sandboxes, is it? But you have a choice. You just get a card and you've got to do
yeah.
I like that. I like the coins. The coins are nice heavy duty
they're
coins.
They're my own upgrade.
Okay, well, I like them anyway.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, so I would. You're at 9, so I like the theme was good. I do like the theme. I like the buildings. I think I'm at 8. I think in my.
Yeah. Oh no, that's really good for you. Yeah, that's fine.
It's good.
You don't have to. It's not like you don't have to apologise for that. That's really good. I could have easily been an 8. Yeah, I could have easily been an 8 to be fair. Yeah, but I find it very satisfying. So yeah.
That's a good score.
What's that? 17. Well, that's cool. That's right up there for us. That could be in our top 5 even. We'll have to do a new top 10 soon for Defo. Yeah. Well, there you are. 17. That's awesome. Foundations of Rome. Literally
highly recommended and recommended for non-gamers.
Yeah.
Don't be put off by the box. And don't be put off thinking it's really complicated when it's not.
No.
It's not complicated at all.
No.
My parents could understand it. My family, I would take it to my family. Yeah, there you go. My family would love it. So yeah, I recommend for non-gamers.
Assuming that it's coming to retail. If not, I guess probably Board Game Geek Marketplace or eBay or have a look on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. Yeah,
Emerson,
somebody somewhere will be selling it. Emerson Matsuchi.
And it's a Dice Tower Essential as well, so yeah.
It is too.
That'll be good.
Well, there you go. So Foundations of Rome massively. They live.
I recommend it. Yes.
Yeah, very good. Hell Caesar. I don't know.
Please leave a comment if you like it as well, if you don't like it, or if you've played it, and please give us a little subscribe while you're at it.
Yeah, nice. Okay, team. Thanks for watching this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review and it's given you an insight into the game. Check out all our other reviews and, as she says, give us a like and a subscribe. Ask us to do any reviews that we haven't done in the past on some of our other games. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.